Well, in fact, the Hollywood movie was released in 1935, 1 year before the Japanese audiences saw the movie. It was hugely successful, and many times over the years between 1935 and 2011, there were producers, theatre producers, who requested permission to turn the movie into a stage show. But every time they asked the question, the American licensors said no, they would not allow it to happen. So I must have been very lucky. Irving Berlin died at the age of 101 in, I think, 1989. His 3 daughters are still alive, and they make all the decisions on what is permitted and what is not permitted. So if somebody wants to make a commercial for television using one of his songs, they decide if they will allow it or not. I was very lucky. I also met Fred Astaire's daughter, Ava Astaire, who liked the idea. So when I went to meet the Berlin daughters, Ava Astaire had already given it her blessing. So I think they felt if Fred Astaire's daughter was happy to see the production, then Irving Berlin's daughters would also be happy. But they were initially not so sure, because many times they had declined the permission. And when I said to them, why do you not allow it? They said, because who wants to see a show now from a movie made in 1935? Well, in England we have something called Strictly Come Dancing. I don't know if you have the same in Japan. Strictly Come Dancing is a show on television with famous celebrities learning complicated dance routines with dance partners. So in England there is a huge appetite for ballroom dancing and for tap dancing, so it seemed very good timing. I also explained that my daughter, who was 9 years old at the time, would never have heard of Fred Astaire or Irving Berlin, and that if there wasn't a show now in 2011 to bring Top Hat back to life, many of Irving Berlin's great songs would be lost to a generation of children who would never hear Putting on the Ritz, Let's Face the Music and Dance, Cheek to Cheek. All these songs lost to a generation who are listening to iPods and on iPhones and playing gadgets and games. But there's something very magical about live theatre and seeing the great dance routines of Fred Astaire and the great songs of Irving Berlin brought back to life on stage. I think I was very lucky to have been given permission. The bit of the story I didn't say is that when I first asked for permission, they said no. But I insisted, and I went to America without permission, and I went to a meeting and really insisted that this must happen in London in the time frame, so within 2 years. The daughters, Mary Ellen, Linda, Elizabeth, Irving Berlin's 3 daughters, are in their 70s and 80s. And often Broadway shows can take 5 or 10 years to make, but I knew I could do this in 2 years in England. And I was just very confident that I could work quickly with their permission to turn it into a stage production. I think eventually Top Hat will play in New York and across America. But I was lucky and I was insistent, and here we are today talking about the first Japanese production. The movie had 5 songs, that's all, only 5 songs. All of the songs were very famous at the time. So one of the things we had to do was to create a full score for 16 or 18 musical songs. So we chose very carefully songs for the characters of the different personalities on stage. The story is one of mistaken identity, which appears in Shakespeare and in Chekhov and in many of the great classics. So Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers made 10 movies during their time in Hollywood together. This had comedy, romance, large production numbers, big cast, tapping, ballroom dancing. Very funny, so many terrific elements to make it into a stage show. So we are really thrilled that the 2 leading actors, Alan Burkett, who plays Jerry Travers, which is the role created by Fred Astaire, and Charlotte Gooch, who plays Dale Tremont, which is the role created by Ginger Rogers, are both coming from our UK production, which is now playing in England, and all of the principal cast. So Alan is the most fantastic tap dancer. He is very similar to Fred Astaire. He's got a light lyrical quality to his voice and his acting. He's a tremendous tap dancer. He won championships as a tap dancing expert. Charlotte Gooch is very beautiful. In the clothes, in the movie, in the stage show, she plays a model. So she has to wear clothes really well. So the clothes, which are designed beautifully, look sensational on her. She's a lovely actress, and together they make a really fabulous romantic couple. The other 4 members of the principal cast are all very good comedians, very funny. So all of the principal cast members from the English production are really excited to be coming to Tokyo and Osaka later in the year to reprise their roles in the production. In England, the show opened in 2011. We have entertained hundreds of thousands of people. They love the show. Top Hat is a big part of their heart. It is great fun. You will have a wonderful time. You will see fantastic dancing, beautiful costumes, wonderful sets. The show in England has won many awards. We are very proud and very excited to be bringing the production of Top Hat over to Japan. We have an expression in England, break a leg, which means break a leg. But you be careful and you come and see the show. Thank you.